guys? How are you? Give me a two in the comments really quick if you can hear me okay. I'm just gonna get like our situation situated. Give me a two really quick in the comments if you can hear me. New subscriber here and loving the information. Ooh, where you're gonna love it today. You're gonna love it today because we're going in deep. Let me know. Give me a two if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't want to move on until I know you can hear me. Somebody give me a two. Or let me know. Good. Good. As you can see, I got like a little microphone situation going on today. It's low. Well, turn yourself up. You can't hear. It's low. Sorry, my hair. It's really low, you said? You can't hear me at all? I am speaking louder. So what I'm going to do, give me 1 second. I'm going to have to switch. I don't think it's going to work for us today. What about now? Can you hear me now? Give me a two if you can hear me okay. Give me a two if you can hear me. You just gotta work with what we got. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a two if you can hear me. Okay, if that's better, worse, better, worse. What are we? Because we're going deep today, and I don't want it to mess up. Perfect. Okay, good. So this is better, or is it worse? Because I don't want to. I'm about to do a lot of talking. A lot better. Okay, well we'll work out our situation. We'll work it out. So today I want to know how you guys are doing. Today we are going to get to the core of some issues. I have been getting so many one-on-ones with you guys, new bookings. There are so many new subscribers here. So if you are new to this channel, hi, hello, welcome. I know a lot of you have came from the butterfly pea flower video. So I just want to say hi and welcome to my channel. But because this is probably your first time here, this is, just so you can get to know me a little bit, because everybody who's been here for a while knows. So I'm very, very blunt. I'm very straightforward. And everything that I say today is coming from a place of love. Today, we are going to uncover a whole lot of myths. And in uncovering a lot of these myths, in uncovering a lot of these habits, it could possibly make a lot of people really, really uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be breaking down some foundations that have been around for a long time. And I know for myself, when I first learned a lot of this information, it made me feel away. So I know it's going to make you feel away. But please understand that as we are talking, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not trying to do none of that stuff. All right. We are coming from a place of love, because when we know better, we're able to make better decisions, able to make better choices. We are also going to have a portion at the end of the video, if you guys want, for you guys to look at some of my testimonials with me, so you can see real results from people who have followed the steps and who have really, really accepted the things that I'm going to tell you today and got real results. Because at the end of the day, as much as I adore y'all booking one-on-one consultations with me, I don't want you wasting your money. I really don't want you to do that, because lately I've been getting a lot of clients who have, at the end of the day, already really have the answers. Like, they've already been to a dermatologist. So what I'm going to do is bridge that gap today and get you to some answers that you can have, so you could possibly skip that step altogether. All right. So let me know real quick in the comments, would you rather have like me in the corner and then the slide on the screen, or would you rather have me like off the screen, just hearing my voice so you can look at the words? So seeing on screen or seeing off screen? Real quick, hurry up, somebody, just one person so we can jump into it. Come on. This is the berry booster, by the way. Cause let's get a crack a lack. Stand on screen. Okay. Stan's gonna stay on screen then. hold on one. It's just a little bit more, just a little complicated, a little bit, well, not complicated, just different than what I'm used to when I'm doing this on my phone. Okay, so even though it's saying I said see on screen, for this one part, don't get mad at me. I'm not gonna be on screen just for this one little part because I don't like how it look. Okay, it just looks special a little bit. Okay, just for this one part. So do me a favor, take a screenshot really quick. I'm gonna come back on. We'll whip this out my face in a minute. All right. So I want you to take a screenshot of this. Number one, the first thing that we are going to address today, dead skin blocks the hair follicle, slowing down the hair growth cycle. At least one person type that in the comments for me. Dead skin blocks the hair follicle, slowing down the hair growth cycle. Today, we are going to get to the core of things because a lot of times what happens is we will see the result. Like, for example, a result will be a bald spot. The bald spot is the result, right? But we automatically tackle the cause. The result. We're like, okay, I need something to repair this bald spot. But you can't just get something to repair the bald spot. You have to tackle what caused the bald spot in the first place, because you'll cause the hair to grow back and then the hair will keep balding because it is the patterns that led you here. All right. So getting back into this really quick, and then I'm going to go through this really fast, or I'm going to try to. Number two is going to be product overuse adds weight to the hair strand that causes them to get weaker and break. All right, I'm gonna explain everything today. I'm gonna explain everything, but I still want you to get that. All right, product overuse adds weight to the hair strands that can cause them to get weaker over time. All right, number three, you're supposed to maintain oil control to lower the chances of scalp inflammation. This one, number three, this is the one that I feel like is gonna make most of us uncomfortable today, but it's okay. But number three, write that down. Maintain oil control to lower the chances of scalp inflammation. And number four is going to be exfoliating the scalp gently can also help to remove dead skin cells to unclog the hair follicle. All right, so that is one of the number one things. One of the main things that we're all dealing with as it pertains to like hair growth and things of that nature. One of the very first things that we have to realize is how to tackle the cause. And so let's break that down. Let's say, for example, you are a person whose hair has been stuck at a certain length. Let's say you are a person who has constant scalp inflammation. Your scalp is always burning and itching and tingling. And then in that area, you start to get thinning. You're noticing as you get older, your hair is getting thinner and thinner. All of these different scenarios. There's so many different scenarios. And this is going for men and women too, because I have just as many male clients as I do female clients, and across the board it is all the same issue. Okay, so let's keep going. As it pertains to your hair and the hair follicle being blocked, this is literally the number one cause. When we all sit down, right, and this is the part where I need you to let your emotion go out the window. We just kicking it. Okay, I'm not meaning this in offense. I just want you to realize something. And sometimes I scratch at your emotion just a little bit to get you thinking, right? So most of the time we kind of sort of get offended by looking at other women of other races, or a woman with naturally curly hair will get offended or is insecure in a way about the way that her hair grows and the rate that it grows in comparison with women of other races with really long hair. But what I want you guys to do is learn how to separate your emotions from logic, because it's two completely different things and you can't really get down the same path. So when we are thinking about your hair and your scalp, all right, blocking the hair follicle, right? Blocked hair follicles can potentially affect the hair growth cycle and slow down hair growth. When a hair follicle is blocked, it can disrupt the normal process of the hair growth cycle and lead to various issues as the hair is thinning or having slow growth or even severe hair loss. There are a lot of different things that can contribute to blocked hair follicles, all right? So many different things. This includes excessive oil production. So excessive oil production is something, I'm just going to be glancing over in my notes, right? So excessive oil production, this is something that isn't necessarily that self-inflicted, even though it kind of is, because your oil production has a lot to do with your regular diet and the things that you eat and stuff like that. So that could have a lot to do with it. But that one, the first factor, like I said, is going to be blocked follicle. The next one is going to be excessive sebum production. So having excessive sebum production is a problem that I have because my body deals with hidradenitis suppurativa. So my sebaceous gland is always like all over the place, right? And because of that reason, it induces stress within my hair follicle. And whenever your body is stressed, whenever you are stressed in any way, shape, or form, this isn't just your hair. Whenever you are stressed in any way, shape, or form, your body releases a hormone that triggers your sebaceous gland. Your sebaceous gland is the gland in your scalp where the oil is produced. So the more you stress your body in any way, shape, or form, this can also be with like pulling and tugging on the hair shaft, like when you have really, really tight braids and then it ends in balding and things of that nature. These are all things that contribute to that, right? I'm going to put the notes up again for you so you can look at it for yourself. All right. This includes, like I said, excessive oil production, dead skin cell buildup, product buildup, hormonal imbalances, and certain medical conditions. When the follicles are clogged, the hair may struggle to grow out properly, or it may not grow at all, like at all. You just will notice that you won't really have that much hair growth, right? So like I said, blocked hair follicles can disrupt the hair growth cycle by prolonging the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle and shortening the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle. And this disruption can lead to a decrease in hair growth rate, and it also will result in you having thinner hair strands, right? So you can read that for yourself. Hopefully you took a screenshot, but I'm gonna break it down. You know how this glitter is driving me crazy. You know how here on my channel multiple times we have talked about the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle. I'm gonna break it down for you one more time just in case you're new here, right? So there are different phases of your hair growth cycle. You have the anagen phase, which is the very first phase of the hair growth cycle. This is the phase of the hair growth cycle where within your body, your hair follicle is producing new hair growth cells over and over again at a rapid rate. And at any given time, like as we speak right now, if everything is okay, which we're gonna get you together by the end of this video, but if everything is okay, right, you should at this rate be developing at least, I'm gonna say a minimum, hold on, let me make sure. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to make sure we was good. So as it pertains to, what was I saying? Oh, anagen phase. So the anagen phase is the phase where your follicles are producing new hair growth cells, right? So as your body is producing new hair growth cells, I want you to also remember something else that I taught you. And if you new here, real quick, most people think that you take biotin from an outside source. No, baby, you can. But biotin is produced in your gut. This is why it's so important for you to watch what you eat, because the good bacteria and the bad bacteria that produces your hair, skin, and nails is made in your gut, in your microbiome. So depending you eating and your diet and a lot of the things that you can consume could have a lot to do with your hair growth cycle, but that ain't that. So like I said, the anagen phase is the phase of the hair growth cycle where your follicle is producing new hair growth cells. The canogen phase of the hair growth cycle is the phase where your body, your blood supply detaches itself from the follicle. Now, it sounds scary, but only about 10% of your hair growth of your follicles are in this stage at one time, right? And then on top of that, the average hair growth cycle is about 7 years. So when that hair is detaching itself from the blood supply, it's only doing that because there is another hair that's coming up to replace it. So it's not like you just falling out, your hair just falling out, you're being bald head. Even when you losing the 55 to 100 strands a day, you're not just losing them and being bald headed. It's only falling out because there's another strand coming up under it. But if you are a person, right? If you are a person that makes a habit, don't shoot the messenger, all right? If you're a person who makes a habit of doing things that block the follicle, like greasing the scalp, and peep game, a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but if the average scalp, this don't have nothing to do with race. This not black, white scalps. This is the human body, period. But depending on like the size of the follicle, the amount of proteins in each hair strand, that's going to determine the way that all of the natural functions that everybody has works, right? So that is what I really, really, really want y'all to think about. Think about that. You're not just doing your hair and styling your hair. The only thing is not from an external source. So I really want you to be cautious of that. That's why when you get braids and stuff, the worst thing you can do is get braids and then go take a Tylenol to block the pain. Because when you block the pain, just because the pain went away does not mean that the follicle is not still being stressed out, right? So like I said, the canogen phase is the phase of the hair growth cycle where your blood supply is detaching itself from, your hair shaft is detaching itself from the blood supply altogether. Then the next phase of the hair growth cycle is the telogen phase. The telogen phase is the phase of the hair growth cycle where nothing's happening. Your hair not falling out, your hair not growing, it's just resting. Remember I said the only reason that a hair is coming out, the only reason that a hair is falling out is because one is on its way out. Well, that hair that is on its way out is in its resting phase. It's in this telogen phase. It's relaxing. It's chilling, right? So at this point, it is the things that you eat, the things that you're doing to your hair, the environment and the atmosphere of your scalp that allows that new hair to come out. And then once it comes out, once it peeks through, we would then call that the exogen phase, which is just when that hair that was resting in the follicle peeks through the scalp and pierces the skin. Then the anagen phase starts all over again. So when we go back to the slide, right? Blocked follicles can disrupt the hair growth cycle by prolonging the resting phase. So peep game, if you are greasing your scalp with petroleum-based products, petroleum blocks the hair follicle. It is a fact. I've been a licensed, a master cosmetologist for well over a decade. And forever, the one thing that we use petroleum for, listen, petroleum is always in the hair salon, always. But you know what we use it for? To block the hair follicle. We use it to block airflow, and we use it to completely cap off the hair follicle. So that way, no product will get in and there will be nothing that will pierce the follicle that will damage the follicle. And the chemicals that we are using, as long as we're moving at a certain rate, that's why certain women, they get relaxers. If they go into a woman who know what they're doing, they're not getting no problems. They have no issues. Because if you're moving fast enough, that relaxer is powerful and it's going to help us extract the rest of the petroleum out of the hair follicle. Because women with relaxers have no problem with their hair growing, and there's a certain method that I use as a professional cosmetologist for over a decade to remove excess petroleum out of the follicle, right? But if you're a person who greases your scalp all the time with Blue Magic, the number one thing that I get women to say to me whenever I make this statement is like, oh, well, I've been doing it for years and my hair is long. But length does not equate to health, right? Because your hair could be really, really long all through your 20s, all through your 30s, all through your 40s, maybe all through your early 50s. but about 40% of my clients as a consultant, about 40% of my clients are over 50. Like most of my clients are over 50, like in their 60s. So that is what I mean by long game, right? A lot of times we like to look at things as at face value and not really pay attention to everything in the long term. Because remember, the your natural hair growth cycle, one hair growth cycle is 7 years. So if you've been doing something and you haven't been doing it longer than 7 years, it's like you don't really have the ability to determine if whether or not it's something that's really, really good for your hair. Like really mapping it out from a 7-year period and doing that multiple times. So in reality, just coming from a scientist, right? In reality, unless you've been following a certain regimen for like at least 14 years and you're over like starting like when you hit 30, right? Hear me out. Because the body stops producing certain amino acids once you hit 30. So as a scientist, I'm not really listening to anything that you have to say as it pertains to your hair growth and all of that. If you haven't been doing something, or if you haven't had scientific proof or anything like that in the double digits, like over at least in the double digits, right? Or you've had enough study and enough test subjects to be able to mash all of those years of experience into one. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm smarter than nobody or nothing like that, but I've been doing hair for over a decade and I've had over 47,000 clients. Those are just the ones that I can count once I started taking notes. 47,000 clients I've had over my career, and I you can ask anybody who's ever sat in my chair, they had to fill out a full client book like they were at the doctor's office. So I know this for a fact because I've always had a scientific mind. I've always dissected my clients and their issues and things like that. So I'm not like giving you guys like hearsay, things that I've just randomly heard, like, no. So, and moving along, next, blocked follicles, like I said, can shorten their hair growth phase, the anagen phase. So if the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle is stopped, if the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle is stopped, right, and the telogen phase is extended, because most of the time, the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle shouldn't really last longer than a month, if even that. It's really just a couple of weeks, right? But if you are blocking the airflow with petroleum-based products, if you are constantly greasing the scalp, even if you are adding oils that like, oh, it's only almond oil, it's only this type of oil. Let me ask you a question. If you had something that automatically filled up your dog's bowl with water at a certain time of day, would you also go over it to yourself and constantly fill the bowl up? No, at one point it'll overflow because there's something that's automatically filling it up. It doesn't need anything. So that's how I want you to think about your hair. And I know it's so hard to separate that. It's so hard for you to think that you don't need it, because what happens next, if you are a person who's been greasing your scalps for years and years and years and years, right, and then you stop greasing your scalp, what's going to happen is, because think about it, if you cut yourself, right, and you damage your skin, you got a little scar like right here, the first thing it's going to do as it begins to heal is going to start to scab. There's going to be new skin added to it. New skin applying. And at one point you have to uncover it and you have to let air get to it so it can get oxygen flow. If you were to keep a scab wet, if you were to keep a scab covered in oil and product, bacteria would grow and there would be an infection and it would stop the regeneration process of your skin cells. The same exact thing happens on your scalp. Our scalp is no different from the skin on the rest of our body. So when you're doing that, when you're constantly adding more oils, when you're constantly adding more butters and things like that to the scalp, on a regular basis and not removing it, it does way more harm than good. And one thing that a lot of people say is like, oh, well, Indian women, we're going to take questions in a second. Actually, y'all can start typing your questions in now before we move on to the next slide. When they say, oh, a lot of Indian women and people from other cultures, they put it on their hair. Guess what? They also wash their hair every single day. They're not going months, or at least every couple of days. They're not going months without washing their hair, and they're not reapplying daily. So these are things that I want all of y'all to think about. I'm going to take a couple of y'all questions before we move along. I sent several emails, but you didn't respond. But you probably sending it to the wrong email then, because I haven't gotten it. Sweetie, but you guys go ahead, type in your questions. We are going to move along. All right, so lastly, as it pertains to this, remember that as it pertains to your hair growth cycle, right? It's so important that you maintain a healthy scalp, because by maintaining a healthy scalp, you ensure that your hair growth cycle is not thrown off balance. Like, it's not going to happen. The hair growth cycle is not going to be thrown off balance in that way, because you're really, really, really able to keep up with your scalp's health. Because at the end of the day, your scalp needs to be able to breathe on a regular basis, just like the rest of your body, just like every other part of your body is no different. So if we are constantly keeping the follicle clogged, if we're constantly keeping the scalp clogged, then it's gonna do way more harm than good, always. And there's, at that point, there's really nothing that you can do once you cause the type of environment for your hair follicle where the hair follicle is so clogged that it ends up dying. And the remedy is so simple, y'all. The remedy is so simple, which we're getting to. All right, to promote healthy hair growth and prevent blocked follicles, it's important to maintain a proper hair care routine. This includes regular cleansing of the scalp. Cleansing of the scalp does not include co-washing. Co-washing does not remove anything. Co-washing may kill a couple of pieces of bacteria, but it's not removing any product. It's actually adding, especially if you're a person who co-washes with something like coconut oil or something like that, all right? This includes regular cleansing of the scalp and hair to remove excess oil, dirt, and product buildup. Exfoliating the scalp gently can also help to remove dead skin cells and unclog the follicles. Maintaining a balanced diet, managing stress levels, because remember, telogen effluvium is caused by stress. And it's not just stress in the hair follicle, it's also from like emotional stress and different things like that. So these are all things that you have to be really, really, really cautious of, because your hair growth is not all pertaining to what products you put in your hair. The products that you put in your hair are probably the least important part of your entire hair growth cycle. Products help you maintain routines that you put in place, but a product is not the routine. A product helps you maintain a routine, helps you maintain a pattern, all right? So next up, y'all, I want us to go into the hair cycle, the hair growth cycle one more time, because I know that I've talked about it before, but I know, like I said, there are a bunch of new people here, right? Take a screenshot of this on my baby if you need to. Okay, please do it for your girl. So, blocked hair follicles can disrupt the hair growth cycle by prolonging the resting phase, the telogen phase, and shortening the hair growth phase, the anagen phase. So not only will it elongate the telogen phase, the resting phase of the hair growth cycle, but it's also going to shorten the phase that your hair is growing. So let's say, okay, you're like, all right, yeah, it may, cause my hair to be resting, but at least it's not falling out. Yeah, but let's say your hair rests for 6 months out of the year, and it's supposed to be growing 7 months out of the year, but it rests for 6 months out of the year. And then instead of your hair growing for 7 months out of the year, your hair is only growing for a couple of weeks out of the year. So whenever I get the question, and I get the question so many times, and my loves, I'm not attacking, but I get this question so much, like, why is it that black women's hair doesn't grow as long as everybody else's? We have to look at patterns. Take your emotion out of it and think here logically, right? Take your emotion out. If you have a group of people and one group of people does things, everybody else does the same exact thing, and one group of people does things slightly different, and they're the only group that isn't getting the same result, wouldn't it make you want to be like, okay, like maybe we should reassess some things? And these are things that I want you to think about, because having blocked follicles leads to so many different things. Because if you're not keeping your oil content and your oil balance on your scalp, then what happens is your follicles begin to overproduce sebum. And not only is your follicle producing too much sebum, it begins to produce too much acid. That's where the burning is coming from. The burning doesn't come from, sorry, I'm getting old. So the burning is not coming from you having, the burning is not coming from like, oh, it's just so itchy, my scalp is so itchy. No, the burning is coming from two things. When it's real bad to the point where it's tender to the touch, that's like you almost about to go bald. That's your follicle detaching itself from the blood supply. But like mildly, y'all, that is literally acid. Do you understand that within your follicle, is a sebaceous gland? Within that sebaceous gland, there is sebum and an acid to clear excess sebum. So if the follicle is blocked, the acid can't get out and the sebum can't get out. This is where seborrheic dermatitis comes from. This is what dandruff comes from, my loves. And I know it's confusing, right? But when it comes to the human body, right? And science is not like, oh my God, it's so amazing. No, science is the study of God's creation, which is you, right? Or whatever else you study in science, whatever type of scientist you are. So as it pertains to like the human body, right? As it pertains to the scalp, when you block the follicle, when the body feels like there's some foreign entity on it, it's going to trigger an immune response. So if you are constantly greasing your scalp, if you are washing your hair, think of this, think of the irony, and I'm not attacking, I just really want you to think of the irony of spending all of that money on shampoo to wash your hair. The only purpose of washing your hair is to remove oil, environmental pollutions, and excess product that was meant for the hair shaft that has now got on the scalp, because when you lay down, your scalp is right there. So it's rubbing, so it's to remove. That's why you do it. So think of the irony of shampooing your hair to remove excess product and excess buildup, and then turning right around and putting 3-4 layers of product on. And then before you put those layers of product on, or no, after you put those 3-4 layers of product on, then you style it, then you go back in and grease the scalp. I know it's aesthetically pleasing. I know it looks sexy to see oil drip down the braids, and it feel good. It do if you do it for a treatment day, right? If you do it for a treatment, and I have a review I could show you guys from a couple of ladies that use my Herbal glaze, which they used as a treatment and then washed out. So there's a method to it. There's a method to it. It's not as simple as like just putting hair product on your scalp, because in return, you end up causing way more harm than good that sometimes is not reversible. All right, so let's get right back into these slides. If you in here, give your girl a thumbs up real quick, because they help a little bit, okay? So Remember, we already talked about the telogen phase, the resting phase. So everybody go ahead and take a screenshot. Take a screenshot of this so you have this, because I want everybody to be aware of what is happening in your body. If you can be aware of what is happening in your body, then you'll be able to understand your body more. And if you can understand your body more, then you know what to do and what not to do. And you won't be trying all of these hair products just because they just came out. You'll only get what your body is telling you it needs. And the only way that you can find out what your body needs is if you learn your body, and that's what we're doing today. All right? So, during the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle, the follicle produces new cells and the hair growth activity. This phase typically lasts for a few years. And the length of the anagen phase determines the maximum potential length of hair. Hear me out. So if you are a person who isn't noticing that your hair is growing, I tell everybody should be getting at least 1.5 inches every month. Y'all, when I was doing, at first I was gonna do my videos like of my whole hair growth journey, like every time I wash my hair, but I was having an HS outbreak, and it was so irritating because I kept having to cut that 1.5 inches, not 1.5 inches. I kept cutting like 1/2 inch every time to even everything out from my outbreaks. But it is a fact. And the only time that the cycle is thrown off is when the anagen phase is shortened. When is the anagen phase shortened? The anagen phase is shortened by an overproduction of oil on the scalp, an overproduction of sebum. When the balance of the follicle is thrown off, when the follicle is blocked too much, when the follicle does not have proper airflow, it throws off the telogen phase. It puts the body in the telogen phase. So when everybody's losing those 55 to 60 strands a day. Not to mention, do not get mad. We are here to speak facts. I'm gonna get to y'all comments after I get to this. So that's why this is a wig, right? If I ever wear my natural hair like this, it's for the day, right? Because to maintain this, I have to rake through my hair with a comb and a brush every day. Even once this is over, I'm going to actually, when this is over, I'm going to like do a mock video of like how I would style this if this was my hair and I was sleeping in it. Just so you can get a visual representation of why most women with really, really curly, thick hair cannot retain length. Your hair is growing, you're just not able to retain it because you're not styling it properly. Most people, whether you add water, or oil or whatever. Today we're talking about adding water. So today, whenever I did this hair, not to mention I styled it properly, right? But when I combed it out, this is how much hair I lost from one comb, from one session, right? From one session. And there were a couple of other hair balls in the other room. Whenever I would talk to my clients, right? Whenever I talk to my clients on the phone, this is about the normal amount of hair that they're used to losing on wash day. This is too much hair. Nobody should lose this much hair on wash day. It shouldn't happen. This is not okay. Your hair is falling out like that because your hair is not supposed to it's not just add water. We are not chia pets. It's not just add water. No. There are processes that need to be followed. So in the video, I'm not doing it today, well, at this point, but in the video, I'm going to do half and half. One half of this unit, I'm going to do like y'all do and get this much hair. And then the next round, I'm going to do it with oil. And you're going to see the difference. It's night and day. And this is for somebody that's been doing hair professionally as a master cosmetologist for over a decade. So I'm not just randomly spitting crap. I've had over 45,000 clients, 47,000 clients. So I'm not just randomly saying stuff. Like, I'm telling you what I know. There's a difference. And those are some of the main reasons why you're not able to retain length. Things like that also really irritate and damage the hair follicle. And anytime there's stress, pulling, tugging every day repetitively, this causes stress. Most women who wear their hair naturally curly get balls of hair like this every day. This should not happen. The 55 to 150 strands a day that you're losing are not noticeable. It's not noticeable. It's like maybe like when you comb your hair, if you don't wipe the counter off, hair on the counter. Maybe at the end of the day, some hair on your shirt. Not this. This is not okay. But this is what happens when you comb hair that's this curly with just wet with conditioner, right? There are certain things that you need to do to make sure you're not causing stress to the follicle. That alone causes stress to the follicle, right? It's a treatment that I used to give a lot of my clients when I was sitting behind the chair. They used to really help their follicles really repair themselves from the stress that was caused during the detangling process. Just from the detangling process alone, you can see this part. Where is it? This too much hair. Okay, so next up, when the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle produces new hair growth cells, the hair grows actively. Like I said, this phase typically lasts for a few years, and the length of the anagen phase is determined. It determines the maximum potential length of the hair's follicle, When a hair follicle becomes blocked, it can interfere with the normal progression of the hair growth cycle. If the hair follicle remains blocked during the anagen phase, somebody type that, please, in the comments. Please, in the comments. Please, in the comments. Just that first line. If the follicle remains blocked during the anagen phase, it may result in a shorter hair growth cycle, since the hair is unable to grow to the full potential before transitioning into the next phase. Here, I'm gonna read it one more time, and then we're gonna talk about it. Because if everybody can get this, if everybody listening to the sound of my voice can get this, we can answer the question and we can stop that argument. Why do Black women have shorter hair? When a hair follicle becomes blocked, it can interfere with the normal progression of the hair growth cycle. If the follicle remains blocked during the anagen phase, it may result in a shorter hair growth cycle, since the hair is unable to grow to its full potential before transitioning into the next phase. And guess what? The next phase after the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle is the canogen phase. The canogen phase of the hair growth cycle is the phase of the hair growth cycle where the hair detaches itself from the blood supply. This is why so many Black women deal with the same forms of alopecia, the same forms of balding. Even though, if a lot of women have families and mothers that have really long hair, but when their hair starts to thin out, it thins out in the same way. So that's something that I really, really want y'all to think about. And when people are like, oh, well, I stopped greasing my scalp and I stopped doing it. I haven't did it for 2 years, or for 2 months. I haven't did it in 2 months. But the life of cycle of your hair growth cycle is 7 years. So if you've been doing it for the last 10 years, it's going to take more than just one little sitting or something to reset that cycle. I really hope that's making sense. And do you think it would be safer if because it's like going in and out. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. So, do you think it would be safe if I wash my hair twice a week on Sunday, my main day, and on Friday? Well, why? Why do you feel that you need to wash it twice a week? And it depends on what you're doing with it after you wash it. Nope. Don't use a deep conditioning treatment once a week. I really say only use a deep conditioning treatment like once a month. Really, I only use deep conditioning treatments on my skin cell turnover week. Skin cell turnover, every 28 days, the skin on your scalp dies off and like falls out. And so I only deep condition right then and there because I got a brand new scalp. Just brand new skin that I ain't never seen in the world before. And during that skin cell turnover cycle, when that layer of skin is gone, that's when some of them itches is coming up. So it's brand new hair. I'm like, hey, sister girl, here you go. So that's the only time that I really deep condition. So I only deep condition like once a month. And then like when I was standing behind a chair, I didn't let my clients, they didn't get a deep conditioning treatment on every appointment. No, absolutely not. I would look in my client record, look to see when their last deep conditioning treatment was, and then they would get their next deep conditioning treatment depending on that day. Remember, products are tools. So if you overuse the tool, it'll do more harm than good. Heat broke off my hair, really had to do the big chop. I'm not being rude, but the heat didn't break your hair off. You used the heat tool wrong. And I'm not being rude, but I want you to really know that so that way you can learn how to use it the right way so it won't happen the next time. But if you blame the tool, that means you will never learn the proper technique, and then you're gonna run into the same problem again because you take you everywhere you go. So you'll use another tool and it'll break your hair off the same way after you grow it out. That's why I'm saying that. I'm not being disrespectful. Okay, is that it on questions? Let's move along to the very last thing. Okay, so we talked about I just want y'all to, I don't know what it say, but I just want y'all to take a screenshot of it for yourself because I need you to have these for your notes at home. Let me get this off. Okay. I need you to have these for your notes at home. So screenshot. Yes, I'm keeping this video up. Yes, I'm good. Okay, so blocked follicles can also prolong the telogen phase, right? So everybody that's listening to this does not necessarily have it at the place where their hair growth cycle is going to be cut super duper short and forever. And even the people that are, I have a remedy for that. I have a remedy for that for you. But if you are a person who constantly does that, what you will notice, the reason that you'll notice that most Black women have hair that's a lot shorter than other races is because our hair growth cycle is way shorter than everybody else's because we're always greasing the scalp. It's a fact. When you, as a scientist, when you sit down, you do the research, you do the conductive reasoning, you do the process of elimination with the scientific method, it is like, y'all, we're the only ones who grease the scalp, the only ones who go months without washing our hair. The follicles always blocked. Your skin cell turnover cycle happens every 28 days. So if every 28 days there's a imagine a snake. Imagine a snake in your hair right now. You know how a snake, they hold all of their skin across their whole body, peels off and comes. The same thing happens to you in your scalp every 28 days. Every 28 days, the same thing happens to you. So it's not like, oh, this skin is only gonna come off if there's nothing on it. No, the skin cells on your scalp are going to die whether you release them or not. So let's say you don't wash your hair for 3 months. Every 28 days, your skin cells die and they stay there. You haven't removed them. So at the end of those 3 months, you have 3 layers of dead skin on your scalp. I'm not trying to scare you. I just want you to connect these dots. I'm not making it up. I want you to connect these dots. And if you new here, go watch every video that I got, because it's like puzzle pieces. But once you start learning, you're able to fit these puzzle pieces in. So that's what I want you to really, really think about. Like, it makes sense when you really, really think about it. It's not complicated at all. The things that are complicated is the stuff that we go try to fix. Again, I'm going to ask you, and this is not a rhetorical question. I want you to tell me what you think in the comments. If your scalp, if the hair on your scalp dies off every 28 days and your scalp has been not touched in 4 months, you have 4 layers of dead skin on the scalp. So when you go in and you only co-wash your hair after those 4 months, do you really think co-washing conditioner is going to break up 4 layers of dead skin? So not only do you not remove and break up the dead skin with exfoliation, you then go in and put a petroleum-based product on top of those 4 layers of dead skin. Listen, I'm not being chaotic. I'm not being argumentative. I need you to think about it. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I want you to connect these dots. I'm not saying that my mouth is a prayer book. I want you to connect these dots. You've had a weave in for 4 months. Every month, every 28 days, the skin cells on your scalp die. So when you get done and you take those off, if you have 4 layers of dead skin on your scalp after you take a weave out, what do you think you're supposed to do? Do you think greasing your scalp after just a regular little shampoo with a co-wash, do you think that makes sense? Not to mention, you got your hair follicles, your hair strands. Look at this. This ain't even real. This ain't my hair, but look at this. Do you think, mind you, it's an 1.5 inches that you get. Each follicle only has 3 to 4 strands. Do you really think that a hair strand this thin can get through 4 layers of dead skin? Do you think this can? Do you see this? This is how thin one hair strand is. Do you really think that little itty bitty strand can make it through 4 layers of dead skin? That is why Black women's hair is not growing at the same rate as everybody else. That's why. Yes, like I really want y'all to think about it. Like, it's really not that complicated. It's really not. It's really the most simple thing that you've ever heard of when you really think about it. How do we unclog follicles? Something super easy that you can do. Olaplex. Olaplex 4C is one of my favorite detoxifying treatments. Why? Because it A, has the Olaplex molecule in it, and B, it's one thing to have a scalp scrub that is just that just has like salt beads in it, but it's another one when the scrub can get down deep into the follicle and into the cuticle on a microscopic level and only tackle certain types of bacteria. So that's why I prefer Olaplex 4. But you can just get if you've been on a long journey, you can get a scalp exfoliator, exfoliate your scalp. And then you can use, you'll use Olaplex 4 first, and then you can use a scalp exfoliator to remove dead skin. It's super simple. And the most simplistic way to do it is have a regular pattern of washing your hair. Y'all, it's so simple. We are the only ones that make the shampoo complicated. The shampoo is that's why everybody else got hair that's down their butt, and it's like, because they just get in the damn shower and wash their hair. It's not a big dance, and it ain't taking 6 hours. Y'all, being natural hair journey for me is frustrating. What's frustrating about it? What's your thought on cortisone shots on the scalp? My friend has bald spots and she's considering it. As long as it's being done by a licensed dermatologist, I'm all for it. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this for years. And that is, you know, what I just got done talking about with the hair growth cycle. That's going to trigger the anagen phase of your hair growth cycle to start producing new hair growth cells. And it'll also trigger the telogen phase to stop and to shorten itself up. And it'll cause your hair to have that full 7-year hair growth cycle, right? So that's something that I want you to think about. I'm all for it. I shampoo once a week. Is in my jeans. Wait, huh? I shampoo once a week. Is in my jeans for my hair to fall out. There's no such thing. And I know a lot of people are not going to want to hear this. That's not true. That just means that your whole family has had habitual habits that long term lead to thinning and balding. For example, when people say, oh, all of the people in my family have, and please don't think I'm being disrespectful because I have a family like this too. When people say, oh, everybody in my family has a history of high blood pressure, everybody in my family has a history of heart attack. And I don't want to hear nobody talk about, oh, that's rude, because my daddy's dead. My daddy passed away. He's not in this physical realm anymore. His picture right there. I'll go get it. And he in the little urn right there. It's over there. His ashes in the thing. Okay. So when we're talking about, oh, everybody in my family, oh, there's a gene in my family. No, there's a habitual habit in your family. Most likely, everybody in your family eat the same way. Most likely, everybody in your family eats the same way. Most likely, everybody in your family kind of has the same level of fitness and activity because y'all everything is generational. Y'all do the same habits. Y'all cook the same meals. Y'all eat the same foods. Y'all have the same recipes. You use the same type of measurements, the same type of ingredients. And certain diets lead to certain illnesses. Like my father and most of his siblings are kind of passing away from the same stuff. Like all of a sudden, their bodies just can't take it no more. It's not, oh, everybody's just dying. No. Everybody's following the same regimen. For example, my husband's family, a lot of the people are like passing away, like in the same way that the ones are in my family. But their grandma, their great aunt is 103 years old. Her diet is 100% different from theirs. Everybody know what she eats. She eating salmon and asparagus and a certain type of salad. Is the diets and the ways of life that lead to certain things being shortened. Stress in the body shortens the anagen phase. Stress in the body prolongs the telogen phase. What is stress in the body? If you have certain illnesses within your body, if there's a certain like weight in your body or like in a family, certain things are going to trigger the telogen phase. That's what I want y'all to rewind and watch when I say all things are connected. None of this stuff is separate. All things are connected. You got one body connected from top to bottom. The way that you eat is connected to the way that your hair is growing out. The way that you eat is connected to the way that your skin looks. The way that you eat is connected to the way that you feel. The way that you feel is connected to the way that your hair grows. If you get depressed, your hair gonna fall out. If you start going through serious stress and sickness within your body, your hair is gonna fall out. All things are connected. It's not just, oh, hair products and hair. No, it don't work like that. Everything is connected. All things are connected. And if you don't find the connection and learn the science, you're gonna be lost. So it's not that your whole family has, like, it's a gene. No. It's a habit. I'm not being disrespectful. My family has the same habit. I'm breaking it for mine. My daughter, obviously I'm gonna go first. I have to. I'm going first, but there is not going to be like it was for me. It won't. I'm going to do my part. So these are things that I want all of us. How important is massage and what? It's not really that important at all. It's like, it's a nice video for y'all to watch on YouTube. But I mean, it's cool, but it's not like, oh, you gotta massage your scalp every day for your hair to grow. Because at the end of the day, if you are a person who has been thrown off, if you're a person who has been thrown off of your hair growth cycle for any reason, if your anagen phase has been shortened for any reason, then that is a really good thing for you to do, massage your scalp, because your follicle has been in the resting phase for so long that it may have a hard time knowing like what to do. So massaging it will like tell the blood to start flowing and circulating again. But I mean, just every day, I mean, if you want to, but I don't really think it's that. Oh, I don't know what just happened. Still in this thing, no. Hold on. All right, here we go. So, whew. Okay, where were we at? So, moreover, blocked follicles can impact the health of the strands themselves. When the hair follicle is clogged, it can affect the nourishment and oxygen supply to the hair, which may result in weaker, thinner hair strands. So a lot of times, everybody take a screenshot. So a lot of times we think that as it pertains to like our hair breaking and all of that stuff, like, oh, it was a flat iron that broke my hair and it was this that broke my hair. And I know a lot of people are not going to want to hear this. This is not just coming straight from like, oh, the Cyn Doll Bible. No, go search it for yourself, right? Go search it for yourself. Blocked hair follicles. If your hair follicle cannot receive oxygen because the follicle is blocked and because you got 7 layers of 7 different products on your hair shaft, then it won't go the way that it's supposed to go. Things will not go the way that they're supposed to go. And if you don't have proper oxygen flow to the hair follicle, then the hair shaft is going to be weak. The same way that if you didn't have hair oxygen flow to you as a human being, you literally would not be breathing anymore. Right? Like you would cease to exist if you lost oxygen flow. So peep game, we know it's a definite that petroleum blocks the follicle, period. So if you're putting petroleum-based products on the scalp, right, then you're stressing the hair shaft because the hair follicle cannot get proper oxygen flow. And by the follicle not being able to get proper oxygen flow, it is stressing to breathe. And anytime the follicle or the body in itself stresses, the hair goes into the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle, which explains why your hair isn't growing as fast as everybody else on the planet. I've had multiple clients. I had just as many clients from other races as I did Black clients. It's Vegas. Like, everybody's here. Vegas is literally the mixing pot. Everybody's here. I would have clients that did a big chop that were not Black, and I would shave their head, and that time next year they would have hair to their ass again. I'm not playing. And my clients that listened to me and did what I said, they were in the same shoes. It was like nothing ever happened. I have the videos to prove it. So I'm not just randomly talking out of my butt. I have the videos with the dates to prove it. Right? So I really want y'all to think about that one more time. And then we're going to take questions and we're going to go. To promote healthy hair growth and prevent disruptions to the hair growth cycle caused by blocked follicles, it's important to maintain a clean and healthy scalp environment. Regular scalp cleansing, exfoliation, and avoiding excessive use of heavy hair products can keep the hair follicle clear and promote optimum hair growth. One more time, because I want y'all to take a screenshot, please. And if somebody's here that likes typing, if you feel like typing this so I can pin it, then this would be amazing. Okay? To promote healthy hair growth and prevent disruption to the hair growth cycle caused by blocked follicles, it's important to maintain a clean and healthy scalp environment. Regular scalp cleaning, exfoliation, and avoiding excessive use of heavy hair products can help keep the follicle clear and promote optimum hair growth. It's so simple. Hair growth and hair care is so simplistic. If hair growth and hair care was as complicated as y'all make it, there's no way I would have been able to do 10, 11 people in one day. No, with no assistant. No assistant. I only had an assistant maybe the first 3 years of my career. When I barely had clients, I didn't even need no assistant. There's no way hair is that complicated. I would not have been able to do 13 clients in one day with no assistant if doing hair took 3 hours. If doing one head of hair took 7 hours. If doing one head of hair took 9 hours. Even doing a roller set, never. Okay, like I really want y'all to think about that. And so I'm going to take a couple of questions really quick. I know there's one, as I'm waiting for y'all to ask y'all questions, I'm going to go in here because I know that there was somebody that asked a question before that I didn't get to, but I don't think I sent it to myself like I told myself I was going to. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons though that I wanted to come on here today and like have this conversation, because I think we make things so complicated. Like we make things so complicated for ourselves, and we do not have to. Like we really don't have to make things that complicated for ourselves. Ever. It's never needed. Oh no, I don't think I sent it to myself. But these are a couple of comments that I got from you guys in the past. And this is what I mean. This is another person that says, you know, I'll just like to comment to thank you. Because of you, my hair is the healthiest that it's ever been. And I appreciate the information you share. Literally keeping my scalp clean and washing weekly is so simple. But before I washed you, I didn't think to do it. Very embarrassing on my behalf. Thank you very much. But it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like it's so simplistic. And I understand, like it's so simplistic that I want to talk about character today. It's so simplistic that it's like you don't believe it, because it's like I've been trying everything. There's no freaking way that it can be this easy. Cyn Doll testimonial in 2021. I got heavy lock extensions and had to shave my head. Majority tangling and using no gimmicks and salon quality shampoo recommended by Cyn. Now in 2023, grow my hair healthy, thick, and from bald to necklace. This lady's advice is invaluable. Listen, I love you. She knows what she's talking about. Like, I promise I'm not trying to gas y'all up. Oh, this person's just asking about butterfly blue tea. Okay. So I love y'all so much. Like, I really just want you to know, like, it's not that complicated. Like, it doesn't have to be like that, right? Where you're constantly searching and you're constantly looking for like instant gratification because you think that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. The normal hair growth cycle should last for years. And if you are a person who is constantly greasing your scalp, you're blocking the oxygen flow, right? And by blocking the oxygen flow, you make it hard for your hair to retain length, because by blocking the follicle, you're not only shortening the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle. By blocking the anagen phase, by blocking the oxygen flow, you are preventing your follicle from getting all of the nutrients that it needs. That's why most of my clients will say, like, they grow their hair out, but when they taking their braids out, anything that they do to their hair, they touch it and it break. Why? Because your hair isn't strong enough It's not that black hair won't grow, it won't retain length because the follicles always block. Oxygen flow is never maintained. That's why they're like, oh my God, no combs, no brushes. Guess what? If the follicle's not blocked, it don't matter what comb or what brush you use. Your hair not falling out because you comb it. Your hair is only falling out when you comb it or when you brush it if you constantly greasing your scalp. Because your scalp can't breathe. There's no oxygen flow. It's not strong enough. Just like if you had your oxygen flow cut off, you wouldn't be strong enough to move. You wouldn't be strong enough to like move around and fight somebody off of you if your oxygen flow is cut off. So why do you think your hair is going to be any different? That's something that I really, really, really want everybody to think about. Cyn, what should I do if my sebum hasn't come out of my scalp after my detox a couple of weeks ago? Well, for one, I want you to stop washing it. Your follicles are micro. I'm not being disrespectful. Okay? I'm not being disrespectful. But I really want you to think about this. Your follicles are microscopic. If you go look in the mirror right now, can you see each one of your hair follicles? You may think that you see one, but what you're really seeing are multiple ones on top of each other. So if you look in the mirror and you can't see the hair follicle itself, why do you think you'll be able to see the actual sebum coming out? Sebum does not look like the oils that y'all are used to putting in y'all scalp. They don't. It doesn't. Sebum is a waxy substance. It's not going to flow out of your scalp the way the coconut oil flows out of your scalp if you squeeze it out of a bottle. It don't work like that. Sebum is a waxy substance, right? Not only is it there to moisturize your hair, right? Give what you guys like to call slip. It also kills bacteria on the scalp. Okay, it does so many other things. It protects your hair from UV. So it's your body's natural sunscreen. It's your natural sunscreen. Like I've been tanning, that's why I look a little caramel. So like those are the things that you should really, really be thinking about, because as it pertains to detoxing the scalp, most likely it's already happening. But I want you to remember, like I just said earlier, babe, if you've only detoxed, it's only been 2 weeks, and you've been having patterns any longer than a year, baby, it's gonna take way longer than 2 weeks for your follicles to be unblocked. You have to remember that's just like if somebody get hit by a car, not you. If somebody get hit by a car, even though they're okay, they still alive. They're not gonna go to when they go to the hospital, the doctor they're gonna clean them off, they're gonna put the stitches in, they're gonna bandage everything up. But he's not gonna be able to run down the street and do a cartwheel as soon as the bandages are in. No. You just walked into the hospital doing the first detox, baby. You just walked into the hospital for the first time. But it's not over. You gotta keep working at it. The same amount of because I want you to think about this. And it's not, you don't have to answer me. It would be great if you would, but you don't have to. You've been doing what you've been doing for 2 weeks. And if you've been doing it for 2 weeks, that means you've only put the product to detox on your head twice. How many times have you used the products that you are trying to detox your body from? So if you use the products more than twice, baby, it's gonna take way longer than 2 shampoos for you to get it out. That's why I'm making this video. I want to break down the natural hair growth cycle to y'all so y'all can understand that things won't be like constant. Just like for example, with me with the teas and stuff, I'll get people to hit me up like, oh, okay, if I buy the tea, how many cups do I have to drink for my hair is long? It don't work like that. I'm not promising y'all that I have a magic product. I'm not doing that in any way, shape, or form. Because I need you to understand that if your body isn't healthy on the inside, right? Let's say you got a bunch of fungal infections going on the inside of your body. Let's say you got a bunch of fungal infections in the scalp. Let's say you got seborrheic dermatitis, right? And obviously your gut microbiome ain't good because you're not able to eat the infection away, right? So your body just full of bacteria. And then you drink a cup of tea. So like this is the berry booster, right? This is the one that is amazing. at blocking DHT, right? Which is the thing that is causing a lot of balding in women over 30. So if you eat double cheeseburgers every day, if your diet is horrific and your skin already broken out because your diet is horrific, you drinking tea will not fix your problem. You know why? The tea is going to be fighting with your immune system because your immune system is already in overload. That's why your skin breaking out. When you stressing out, your body also stresses from the things that you eat. If your diet is trash, your body stresses out from that. Your body stresses out from that. So when your body is stressing out from that, then the next thing that happens, hold on, I don't need this. So if your body is stressed, then what it's going to do is going to send out signals, and it's going to send a signal to your sebaceous gland to produce more oil. It's one of the body's defense mechanisms for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not the Lord. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. It's going to start sending out more oil responses, and then more responses for the body to start producing more sebum. And then as that happens, it starts to produce like itching and things of that nature. Then the body starts to fight it by killing those dead skin cells, trying to repel it. But when you see dead skin, you think it's dandruff. You think it's dry scalp. So what do? You go and you get some petroleum. You go get something that blocks the follicle. And the reason that you see dead skin on the scalp is because your body is trying to fight the infection. The body is killing dead skin way faster. The average person, you only supposed to be losing, your dead skin cells are only supposed to be dying off every 28 days. But if your skin cell turnover cycle is thrown off, then what happens is they begin to die off at a rapid amount. If there's too much sebum production, it begins to die off at a rapid amount. And you know what that's called? Dandruff. Most people think dandruff is dry scalp. Dandruff is not dry scalp. Dandruff is oily scalp. How many of you know that dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis is the same illness? It's the same form of dermatitis. Dandruff is a mild version of seborrheic dermatitis. Dandruff is an overproduction of sebum in the follicle. And because there's so much overproduction, instead of your natural hair growth cycle being every 28 days, the natural hair growth cycle is then about every 4 or 5 days. This is why you see all of this dead skin on the scalp. Why? Because your body is trying to prevent the buildup. But guess what? When you see dandruff, you go get oil and you block the follicle. You block the follicle because you think that dead skin is dry scalp. That is not dry scalp. It's not dry scalp. Your skin is not going to reattach itself to your skin just because you put an oil there. It's like glue. Putting petroleum on dandruff is like putting glue on your scalp. The dead skin isn't going to go anywhere. It's just going to stick together. And once again, do you think, just try it out. Do you think that a hair strand that is this thin, I lost it. Do you think that a hair strand that is this thin can make it through layers upon layers of dead skin and petroleum? We got to make it make sense. We got to make it make sense. And the stuff we've been doing don't make sense. But the cause makes sense. Now you can see how you got to this place. Blocking the airflow, blocking oxygen. Like, I'm going to leave this up because I want as many of y'all to get this as possible. I haven't used any yet. I'm trying to understand how to know when my sebum is releasing, and I hope I'm making sense to you. You making perfect sense, but listen, you're not gonna know that. Sebum is the things that you are trying to see, baby. You're not gonna see unless you get an electron microscope. And if you can visually see the sebum coming out of your scalp in a minute, you're gonna have seborrheic dermatitis because that's not normal. Your follicles microscopic, babe. Like, stop trying to, like, don't just do it. Just do the work. Just do the work and you will see it. There are no like certain signs, babe. I'm not being disrespectful. If I say anything, I'm going to be making it up. Anything that comes out of my mouth, I'm going to make up. I'm not being disrespectful. Anything that comes out of my mouth is going to be made up. Because when I was in cosmetology school, babe, there was no like, do this, turn around in the circle 3 times. It's like, no, we just learned the science. That's it. You learn the science, and then you apply the science that you learned based on the clients that you have. But there's no, how do you find out? There was no way that I found that nothing that I do specifically for my clients, for myself, to see the sebum come out. You just know that it's there by how manageable your hair is. Damn, I shouldn't have cut the computer off so I can show y'all that review. Now I gotta start the computer again because I want y'all to see. Y'all can. I'm just put the link in the description box below so y'all can look at the testimony. I really hope you didn't take that the wrong way. Oh Lord, I'm into the love, girl. I just don't like. I'm not being rude, but that's what makes it complicated. Okay, Cyn, so what do you do if this happens? But then what trick do you do? I have no tricks. I swear to listen, I have no tricks. I don't have no magic comb, no magic turn, no magic. I have been following the science since I got my cosmetology license. That's why I've been using the same products. I've been using Kimra since I got out of cosmetology school. I got out of cosmetology school in 2009. It's 2023, about to be 2024. I've been using the same product since then. I've been using Olaplex since before I got my cosmetology license. I don't switch up. I don't. I'm not just randomly giving y'all no random nothing. Hey, boo. Hi, sis. Hey, boo. Hey, Whitney, boo. I have excessive shedding and seborrheic dermatitis. Oh, hold on. It just went. Girl, oh, I feel like somebody grandma. I probably spelled it wrong. I don't know what to do. Okay, it says I have excessive shedding and seborrheic dermatitis. I don't know what to do. My shedding started postpartum after I had my baby, and he's almost 2, and I'm still shedding. Okay, what are the only way, because I'm low-key about to give you a free coaching session real quick. Low-key. So, first thing, if you don't tell me the truth, I ain't saying you're going to be lying, but if you don't give me all the information, I can't help. Okay? If I don't know you, I'm not there. I can't physically touch you, so I need you to give me everything. All right? So, yes, the glass. Thank you, girl. I be trying not to because my eyes just start working like out of nowhere. So I'm trying to trick myself into like, girl, your eyes work, and they be like, no, we don't. And that's what just happened. So anyway, I need you to tell me, what do you do to your hair since your baby has came out of your stuff, passed through your uterus, since you passed your placenta? What is your hair regimen like? What do you do to your hair, and what do you put on your scalp? Because seborrheic dermatitis is an overproduction of oil. So you are either overly stressed, or you're not keeping your scalp clean enough, or you keep putting stuff on your scalp. It's awful. Seborrheic dermatitis is nothing. Wash, blow dry, flat iron. Okay, what do you use? And then prior, like when you were pregnant, were you greasing your scalp? Was you putting the oil in between your braids? Like these are, you gotta backtrack. You gotta backtrack. like you have to find, for example, if something happens and to your body and you go into the doctor, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to run a bunch of tests on you. And the reason they're running the tests is because they need to find the cause. They need to find what the cause is. They cannot give you no medication until they know what got you in the position in the first place. So that's the only reason I'm asking this question. That's what my doctor said. I'm stressed and I don't clean it enough. You sound like my doctor. But okay, Whitney, I'm not being disrespectful, but why do you think that I know more than your doctor? Do y'all know how long? Do y'all know? And Whitney, I ain't never even met you before. I love you. Please don't. I'm not. This is coming from love. Like oh my God. Like, please do not take this the wrong way. Almost every freaking client that I have says what you just said. Y'all are literally wasting y'all money. I do not know more than your dermatologist. I can guarantee you that. If your dermatologist already gave you a prescription, follow it. If you have, like, do y'all understand? And this is the thing. Most people are like, oh, the dermatologist is being short because they are tired of y'all. They're tired of y'all. I can only imagine what these dermatologists feel like because y'all go into them, you pay your copay, they run a diagnostics on you. Like most of the time, they do a scalp biopsy. They take a sample. They see the inside of your follicle. They see it's an overproduction of oil. They tell you exactly what to do. And then you don't listen. And then you like, I don't know what to do. I've tried everything, but you haven't tried everything. The doctor told you exactly what your problem is. The science is not going to change. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not being disrespectful. The science will not change. It's not going to change. I don't give a damn what these girls on YouTube telling y'all. They do not know what they're talking about. I don't give a damn what product you put in your hair. Y'all come on. If you like these people, a dermatologist has dedicated their life to learning your scalp. And the stuff that y'all need help with is simple stuff. Babe, and the reason why all he had to do is look at it is because he sees it all the time. Peep game, if you was in school for 20 years learning about the scalp, wouldn't you know how to look at it and spot it when you see it? Would you need to run a test? If you was in school for 20 years learning about it and getting tested on it before you even start doing it professionally, would you need to run a test? It's not complicated. It's so common, and I'm not being disrespectful. Literally, everybody has the same disorder. Y'all all have seborrheic dermatitis and dandruff, and none of y'all listen to what the dermatologist say. Nobody. Oh my God, it's coming from love. Literally every freaking client that I had a call with a man in Spain. It was midnight his time. I'm not being disrespectful. My God, word for word what you just said. Word for word. Then the doctor gave him the stuff. Oh, well, it started to cause flaking. Oh my God. That's because it's killing the bacteria. The dead skin cells that haven't been able to be removed are now dying and falling off. But instead of you following what the doctor said, you go get oil because you like, he white. He don't know nothing about black scalp. Oh my God, y'all. The answers are right in front of you, but you won't take them. I do not know more than your dermatologist. And I just told you word for word what he said, because the science is the science, regardless of what y'all try to put on it, regardless of what herb you try to put on your hair, regardless of what type of, it don't matter. If you have seborrheic dermatitis, stop oiling your scalp and chill out. You either too stressed, because that's the only thing that causes it. The only thing that causes seborrheic dermatitis is the sebaceous gland producing too much oil. And either the sebaceous gland is only producing too much oil if you stress. Stress causes it because stress releases a hormone that tells your sebaceous gland to make more oil. Or you blocking the follicle and not letting the oil leave. And so all the bacteria and the oil is staying trapped in the scalp. Or you just not washing your hair enough. It will go away. Your seborrheic dermatitis will be over if you just listen to what he say. Listen to what he say, and it's over. It's over. And girl, I love you. This intensity, I'm not upset. I'm not irritated, but I love you for real. Like for real. And it's irritating as hell that you're going through stupid shit for no reason. I love you. I'm not. And that's everybody, because some of y'all be being all sensitive, like, oh my God, Cyn, that was so mean. Stop talking to us like you are children. I'm not talking to you like you're my child. I'm talking to you like you my friend. And you going through stupid stuff and spending dumb money for no reason. You believe in stupid stuff about yourself and you think that you're less than when you're not. You walking around talking to me, looking for your phone as it's attached to your ear. And I'm like, stop. That's it. That's what this is. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. You have the answers. Respect the person who's been, and peep game. Imagine how irritated you would be to constantly be talking to the same type of women about the same type of stuff. You know, when they see you, they not gonna believe you and they gonna want to debate about you. And this is the most simplistic shit that you can know. This is basic stuff. That's why I know it. I ain't no dermatologist and nowhere near one. Baby girl, I thought about it. I said, I know you a lie. I know you a goddamn lie. I know I ain't about to go to school for another 20 years. I know you lying to me. My certifications, my degrees are beginner stuff with dermatology. So you going in to see a man or a woman that has been in school for 20 something years and they answering questions and treated about basic stuff. You would be irritated too. Y'all stop being like, oh, they rude. They don't, because it's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. I'm sorry if it's making you feel away. It's dumb. Not you. It's crazy because it grows still, but sheds never oil my scalp. But I'm stressed. Yes, that's why. It's growing. There's nothing wrong with your hair. Calm yourself down. And you know what else with me? The thing that's stressing you out is you worrying about your hair. You worrying about your hair is stressing you out. You already a mother. You produce life. Forget what everybody else talking about. I don't give a damn how nobody feel like they a woman because they ate some chicken. I don't care. Being a woman is fucking hard. It's hard. Having a baby is hard. Finding yourself again after you have a, oh girl, like I did it twice. Finding yourself again as a woman after you give birth is hard. It's stressful. You gotta find you. You gotta set your day up different. You got to get up in the morning and not touch your phone. You got to get up in the morning, get a journal and talk to Whitney and nobody else. You got a baby now. That means that you have to make time for Whitney. Because if you don't, your hair is going to keep falling out. It don't got nothing to do with anything that you've done wrong. Doctor here, she's correct. Oil feeds. Oh, listen, look. You go, look, I got chills. Look. Just listen. Ooh, nerdy stuff do something. Hold on, I'm sorry. Ooh, oil feeds the yeast and provokes more scalp disorders. That's what SD stands for. It promotes more of a scalp disorder. You know how, remember when everybody was using Monistat and Dr. Dr. Prickly Pear. Oh, 111. Oh. Can you confirm or deny this for me, doctor, please? You can deny if I'm wrong. I don't know if you remember, but there was a certain time when people were curing their hair follicles with monostat. Okay? And they were under the impression that monostat was growing their hair back. But in reality, monostat was not causing hair growth. Monostat was killing the overgrowth of the yeast that was in the follicle, blocking and slowing down the hair growth cycle. So once that bacteria was killed by the monostat that kills the yeast infection in the Kudamama doctor, I don't know the doctor word. I mean, I do, but I don't want to use a combined doctor like you. That when they had the infection of the Kudamama, they used that in the scalp and it killed the bacteria that was on the scalp. That's because it was an overgrowth of yeast, correct, on the scalp from not properly washing the hair and letting oil build up along with other bacteria. Am I right or wrong? Just really quick, doctor. Thank you. I'm gonna just be, doctor, can you always be in here, please? Because I wish I could make you a moderator here. Oh my God, I can't do it from here. I'm going back and I'm making doctor a moderator. And I'm not a doctor like you. So you got a bedside manner. You had that one. I didn't have to do that. We didn't have to go and learn a bedside manner. You got one. I don't have one like that. Not like that. So sometimes it's really hard to put this in terms that people can understand in a way that they see that it's like, okay, I'm not being combative in a way that I'm saying, oh no, they wrong, they stupid. It's not about them versus me or me versus this YouTuber. It's not about that. I don't care nothing about that. I want to teach you the science of the human body because I'm sure doctors are tired. Like, this doctor, please correct me if I'm wrong, been in the house, like some of them have been in freaking medical school longer than some of their patients been alive. If you're 23 years old going to see a doctor, girl, they've been in school longer than you've been alive, depending on what their specialty is. So no, they don't want to answer all of those questions. I'm gonna go back to the comment. See, I also have seborrheic dermatitis or scalp disorders, seborrheic dermatitis. I don't know what you're doing with your doctor phrase. I don't know. And have kept it in remission. Listen, because the dermatologist knows what they're doing. Okay, one last question. Dr. Prickly Pear, one more question. Most people think that when you know one thing about science, you know everything about science. Like, just because you do one area of hair, that you know every area of hair. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't each doctor have a specialty? Like, whatever your specialty is, you're not gonna go, because I'm gonna guess you're not a dermatologist because of what you said that you went to see a dermatologist. But so you, as with your specialty being in another field, you're not gonna go in and tell a dermatologist how to do their job, right? Like, you're a doctor, so you know things. But you haven't, like, you're not going to go in and tell another dermatologist how to do their job as it pertains to their specialty because it's completely different. Am I right or wrong with that? Oh, thank you. I know you haven't got to. Yep, you correct. Okay, see, listen, I know I was trying. Love your videos and your knowledge is 100%. Oh, thank you. You're helping me grow my hair out. I got you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that makes me, thank you so much for sharing that, because I think people think that cosmetologists are stupid. They think that we only play in hair. It's like, no. it like, and you can, once again, you don't have to because you all got to be working because now I didn't put you on the spot, doctor. But there's levels to it. You have cosmetology, and then you have trichology, and then you have dermatology. This is the thing though. A trichologist does not trump a cosmetologist as it pertains to like hairstyling and hair care, because a trichologist is not licensed to do what a cosmetologist can do to your hair. But a trichologist is mainly like focused on the human scalp itself. So it's going to a deeper level. The same way your dermatologist is there to look at your scalp, but they're not gonna give you no silk press. That's how it goes with I can't even get it out now. I can't get it out. Whatever I said after trichologist. Okay, let me go back because I skipped somebody. Thank you, doctor, for showing up today. Thank you, like for real, like all justice aside. Yep, we like to hold hairstyles for 2 to 5 weeks. Yes, and that causes dermatitis almost immediately. It blocks the follicle, and then the problem ain't even, well, it is the main problem, how long styles are left in. But the problem is now, for some strange reason, because of social media, y'all we've been keeping the styles in for however long, but at least we understood that the follicle had to be detoxed. Now y'all don't even shampoo y'all hair after. That's why so many women have seborrheic dermatitis. I did hair for over a decade, and I did not see that this many women with seborrheic dermatitis and dandruff. Never. I did not. Well, that's true. No problem. So when we just need to wash our hair more frequently and stop putting oils on the scalp. Yes, oils are for the hair, not the scalp. Like some of these new hairstylists, which do your thing, 21, do your thing. I'm not one of these older hair. I consider myself older seasoned hairstylists. Why? Because it's kind of the hair industry kind of like basketball in a way. The way the way they look at it. So like you in there when you like in your 20s, and then once you get older, it's like, okay, now this auntie, oh, she older. But I really just want you to think about it. That's social media. It gets a wow factor. Grease in the scalp, putting in slow motion, you seeing grease drip down the face. That gets views. So y'all think that the things that get views are the ways that you're supposed to do your hair, and it's not. Y'all treat y'all hair the way we treat in bundles. A lot of people are not gonna like to hear this, but I was doing hair, and when Love and Hip Hop first came out, I was doing Love and Hip Hop. I was doing people on Love and Hip Hop. Have the videos and the pictures on my Facebook and my Instagram to prove it. Okay, it's nothing to write home about. It's not that deep. So when everybody started going crazy about wigs and weaves and frontals and lace, y'all started treating y'all natural hair the way that y'all treated wigs. So I would always, like, if I had a client that dropped off some curly bundles that look like this, I would soak her hair. The cap method that y'all like doing, that's for weaves and wigs. We used to do that for weaves and wigs. I would get a bunch of conditioner and a silicone mix and put it all over a bundle or all over a wig, and then put it in a plastic cap and sit it overnight. And then by the morning, my client's bundle's ready to go. But guess what? It was no problem. There was no hydrofatigue. Why? Because hydrofatigue only happens to hair that's attached to a follicle. Bundle's not attached to a follicle. So the way that y'all treat hair now is the way that we was treating bundles. And y'all have just taken the way that we treat bundles, the hairstylists treat weave, and put it on y'all natural hair. And that's why now everything is upside down. And stop stressing. Yes, you have to stop stressing. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you. Yep. See, she said I'm right about the monostat. Thank you. Yep, that makes sense. We are who we eat. I gotta do better. And thank you so much, baby girl. Like, listen, I'm not calling her baby girl. That's her name, baby girl. Like, thank you so much. Literally, if don't nobody else get anything from this, you're enough for me. Because that's all I want. Like, we don't need to be pointing fingers. Because she said no. Let's look at the science. Let's look at our bodies. Let's learn our bodies. Let's have some accountability. What have I been doing? What have I not been doing? What have I been doing too much of? What have I not been doing enough of? And let's make edits. Let's make changes. All right? Like, y'all, I've been doing stuff for y'all. Everybody who has placed the order that has not received that order yet, them bad boys going out tomorrow. I love y'all. Ain't nobody stuck late. And everybody's emails I've been getting to. If you have sent the email and I didn't get it, send it again. Please, I'm on it. But I'm not your superwoman. I love you too, girl. Yes, we do. I specialize in internal medicine, and I realize my limitations. I can't do what dermatologists. Oh. I love you. She my favorite. You my favorite subscriber. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to have, but it just does something to me, and you gonna understand because you're a doctor, so you way nerdier than me. You way nerdier than me. You was in school for centuries. You way nerdier than me. But it's so hard sometimes to translate that nowadays because it's like everybody knows everything. And that's one thing what you just said is one thing that I was trying to explain to people before on the channel where they're like, oh, well, she good at braiding, so she know. It's like, no, just because somebody's good at styling hair does not mean that they have the qualifications to teach you stuff. For example, like here on YouTube is like this one woman that's a chemist, right? And so she's telling people to put certain stuff on their scalp. And it's like, just because somebody's a chemist does not mean that they know what to tell you on how to treat the scalp. Because you can say, as a doctor, that a chemist don't know you. When you go to school to be a chemist, she hasn't learned the same stuff that you know. Like you do internal medicine. So yeah, a chemist may help make some of the medicine, but she don't know what you know about. I know I'm not asking you if you know what I mean, but like that's what I'm saying. And I think that's what confuses everybody because everybody just thinks that if somebody know one thing about something, they know everything, and that's not. No, like just follow the science, because when you follow in the science, all roads meet. Just like Whitney earlier. Whitney was like, oh, you sound just like my dermatologist. And then I asked this doctor, and this doctor works in internal medicine. So it's not even a dermatologist, but you would think internal medicine, oh, that's way deeper stuff that's going on inside your body. That's way deeper than the follicle. That's just the hair. But no, it's not. Everybody has to respect everybody and their level of knowledge where they at. And learn the stuff that you don't know. Don't just decide that you're just gonna do whatever, because the body is complex. The body is a city. That's why I'm so freaking nerdy. Oh my God, you don't have to agree with nothing else, because I know you off duty. You probably ain't even working today. I got you answering questions, but like, it's like the thing is, we think that the body is just this little, like, oh, it's just an arm. No, your body is a city. It is a powerhouse. Like, if you can get a microscope and look at what is going on in your body, like everything that you do, everything that you eat, the way that you feel, the things that you put in your hair, everything that you do goes into helping this system run. You are a machine. You're a machine. And any machine that is not properly maintained will not be able to function properly. It's just as simple as that. If you're not getting regular tune-ups on your car, if you're not getting your brakes changed, if you putting the wrong type of gas in your car, eventually the car is going to break down. It's not going to last. And you have to do regular maintenance on the car to keep it running properly. It's the same thing. It's no difference. Your body's a machine. a masterful machine. I definitely have a lot to learn, Cyn. I'm taking my time. And that's what you're supposed to do. Because where you going? Where you going? Where you going? What you doing? What everybody rushing for? Where we going? Where we doing? Like, I'm about to be 33 on the 20th. My birthday this month. Feel free to go over to the website and drop a little donation. Even if you don't want to buy nothing, it's a little button. You can donate to the cause. Help a plan out for my birthday. I'll show you in a minute. You want me to get to my birthday on the 20th? Help a plan out. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't want you to beat yourself up. My favorite example, I say this all the time. My husband's auntie is 103 years old. She 103. I'm not even halfway there. Baby, you got time. You got time. What are you doing? You got time. Don't stress yourself out like that. Where you going? It's tough. People feel like having so much access to info, not always reliable. Ooh, you better. I love it when doctors write stuff. I'm sorry. Not always reliable makes them empowered to a fault. You have to have humility and realize that there are experts who are trained to help. Y'all, like, you realize that a dermatologist went to school to help you, right? Granted, they're making money helping you, but they still had a passion for learning the human body and fixing issues. That's why they're there. So why are you arguing with them? If you come in the room to see somebody and say, help me, trust yourself in the fact that you pick somebody who is really going to have your best interest at heart, especially when it's something as simple as a shampoo. It's like y'all want them to give y'all these big reasons. And you okay. Peep game. And I'm not being disrespectful, but with me, if I would have told you, or if that dermatologist would have told you, oh, get some coconut oil, if they would have said something that sounds familiar to you, if they would have said, oh, get some shea butter, or get some shea butter and mix it with this, you would have believed it. Anybody who tells you that you cure seborrheic dermatitis or dandruff with oil don't know what they're talking about. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. How do you cure an overproduction of oil with oil? Please explain that to me. I really need to know. And so it has to be exhausting for a doctor to constantly I think we have a primary care doctor, but she will send us to a specialist depending on. Oh my God, we almost went gangster in here because I'm trying to read without my glasses, but everything is okay. But shit just almost got real. Hold on. Yeah, but to me, that's what doctors do. Doctors are not, if you go to see, like you said, your primary health physician, and then you got something wrong with your heart, they're going to send you to a cardiologist. Or if you're something wrong with your brain, they're going to send you to a neurologist. They're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm a doctor too, so I'm about to do it. No. What are we talking about? That's why it's like, y'all got to pay attention. Who are you getting your information from? I'm sorry, but a chemist can't teach you. A chemist is not a specialist in the human scalp. She's not. He's not. Period. I don't care what nobody say. They're not. They learn about it, absolutely. Are they a specialist in it? Absolutely not. But guess what? I bet money that a primary care physician not gonna go and tell a chemist how to do their job. Absolutely not. Like, the science world respect each other. Consumers don't. Consumers don't respect nobody. Y'all don't respect each other. Y'all don't respect history. Y'all don't respect science. Nothing. But the doctors, the professionals, they respect each other. They respect everybody. I had relationships with multiple dermatologists, multiple trichologists, that when something went that deep, they just was like, hey, here's a cosmetologist. She's really well versed, and she's really, she's like into the science of hair. She'll really be able to help you with your scalp disorders. That's how I was able to stay booked all the time, because when social media wasn't bringing it to me, doctors were. Mm-hmm. slow and steady will win every time. All right. I love y'all so much. I don't think anybody has any more questions. We will have a new video coming tomorrow. I have a lot of things that I have ready to go for you guys. A lot of things that I'm ready to share with you. There are so many new products over on the Apothecary, over on my website. We have new glycerites, right? Just go over there and check them out. You don't have to buy anything. You should, but you don't necessarily have to buy anything. You should, but we have multiple tinctures ready to go. Okay, I have one with saffron. I have one with spearmint and supplemento. We have one with hibiscus and mugwort, and then I have one that I cannot see. I know I can't see. Go on the website. My glasses are on, and I'm not. All right, I love y'all so much. I really want us to keep everything like at a smooth and easy flow. I really wanted to come here and like talk about it like this in like a free, clear environment, right? Where y'all can ask questions if you want. And I really want you to get in this sense of knowing that it's not complicated. Like hair care is not complicated. Hair growth is not complicated. Taking care of your hair is not complicated. The more steps you have, the more things are most likely off balance. So I really, really want y'all to think about that. All right? I really want you to think about it. Remember, head over to my website, do a little bit of shopping, look around a little bit. And again, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Wait a minute. I'm not leaving yet. If you gotta go, you can go ahead and go. But I want to show you something really quick. We just added this to the page. We already have 2 donations. I appreciate y'all so much, but it's like I've been on YouTube for a while and I don't never ask for birthday stuff, but I'm just letting you know, like, it's my birthday. And if you have, this don't take too long. If you head over to my website on the home page, I should have been prepared. Maybe wait. There is a button, like let's say you already done bought every tea that I got, because it's a lot of y'all that have. I love you. What you can do, you can head over to my website, and on my website, it actually gives you an option. I'm almost there. I'm almost there, guys. Don't leave. It gives you an option to like make a donation. Like you can make a $5 donation, a $2 donation, or I think the minimum is $5. Here we go, friends. Hold on, please. Hold on, please. Wait, please. I have to enter the studio. Wait, please. Hold on, please. Thank you. I love you guys. I love you long time. Hold on, I'm almost there. I just want to show y'all some stuff real quick, boo. Here we go. Here we go, friends. Here we go, my dear friends. Okay, so here is my website, and then hi, I can still see you. You can still see me. And so here on my website, like here are like the different blog posts that I really, really think you should go check out, right? This like this all my socials, my Amazon store, my podcast. My podcast on Apple Music too, my YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter that I'm never on. All right, and then we have a new product here. This is our rose water, and I'm freaking in love with it because it has like a pump on it, so you're not just wasting freaking product. You're not going to be using way too much freaking product or anything, right? And so that's something that I want y'all to check out. But this is what we came here for. All right. So for my birthday, it's just for my birthday. If you love me and you want to give me like a little something for my birthday, what you can do, you can come over here and you can just make a little donation, right? You can click on the donate now button, and then it just sends you to this page that you guys can see right now. But it sends you to this page, and then you can make like a simple little donation there or whatever. And then if you want to shop the Apothecary, this says Simple Herbal Apothecary right here. If you click on this page, there's a drop down for everything. But You can also just click on Simple Herbal Apothecary all together. And then what it's going to do is take you here. And so you can click on any page. Disclaimers are here, right? But then all of the extracts and tinctures are listed here, right? So you can come here to look at these. And then all of my herbal blends are here. So you can click here to look at all of the herbal blends. Here are the tinctures, and here are the herbal blends that you can look at. We have a new soap right now that I am freaking in love with. And this one is with honey, black seeds, clove, avocado seed, moringa, and velvet's hair. It is it smells so freaking good. It's amazing. But anyway, yeah, so I have all of these different things that you guys can check out. But again, if you're somebody who loves me and you want to give me like a little piece of change for my birthday, then feel free to come over to my website and you can donate like straight here on the donate page, right? Love you guys so much. And don't feel pressured, of course, into doing it, right? Don't feel pressured in any way, shape, or form into doing it. But just know that if you do want to donate to your girl, that you can do it like that. All right. All of my information will be left in the description box below. I love you guys so much. Thank you for kicking it. If you are still here, do me a favor, right? You don't gotta buy nothing, even if you don't want to donate, that's fine. It's cool. Like if you don't want to give me nothing for my birthday, like that's kind of messed up because I just be telling y'all everything. But it's cool. You don't have to if you don't want to. But what you can do for me that's free for you, do me a favor. If you've learned anything whatsoever, even if you're watching this on replay, if you've learned anything whatsoever, leave it in the comments, please. And the reason that I'm asking you to do this and the reason everybody else asked you to do this, we working with a computer, you know what I'm saying? And the computer needs signals. And the only way that you can send a signal is with a like or a comment or a share. So it'll be amazing if you can do all of those things and comment below, letting YouTube know, like, okay, she liked this person, he liked this person, so they want to like see them more. All right, so tell YouTube you want to see me. I love you. Bye. 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 Bye.